Shalom, shalom Israel, Shabbat Hezekiah. Back at it with a lesson. Venezuela, tribe of Asher's trouble. Venezuela, tribe of Asher's trouble. Right, first and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise and thanks to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's the most high God of Israel, nothing else. And his only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ. I want to give a mighty shalom and double honors to all the elders from the house of David and all the elders worldwide. I want to give a mighty shalom and shout out to the men that's pushing this truth, preaching this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. And I want to give a mighty shalom and shout out to the women and children that's praying, fasting, giving alms, keeping the commandments and the faith in the Black Messiah, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So Venezuela, if you know, you know. If you don't know, if you don't care, if you're not even thinking about it, but today is your day to know, to find out that the Venezuelans, the South Americans, are from one of the tribes of Israel, from the tribe of Asher. The Venezuelans is part of God's chosen people, the Israelites. And it's in the scriptures. I'm gonna prove it through the scriptures, through the spirit. Let's jump straight into it. It's the book of Genesis 49, verse 20. Out of Asher, his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. So when you read chapter 49, Genesis, it's going into the blessings of the 12 tribes of Israel. And in these blessings, it's prophecy. You come to find out that this relates into modern day countries, lands, agriculture, culture, traditions, way of life. The things, the need, the things that's going on, how it is, and how is that. Like metaphors, allegories, deep sayings, and these prophecies. You can only have the spirit of understanding this by keeping God's commandments and also being an Israelite. So out of Asher, his bread shall be fat. What does that mean? When you do the research of South America, like Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, these countries have the world's biggest producers of cattle, sheep, goat, coffee, beans, cocoa, sugar, rice, corn, and fruits. That's what it means. Out of Asher, his bread shall be fat, flourishing of produce, agriculture. And he shall yield royal dainties. That royal dainties is going to the fancy, the exquisite, the tasty pastries and baked goods and cakes that they make, that they bake. Famous cakes and pastries and baked goods, man. Tasty. Yes, my South Americans, they get down in that kitchen, right? It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33. Hold on. Let me skip this ad. Saying is already working. All right. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, 24, and 25. Here's another chapter that speaks about the blessings, right? The prophecy, right, of the 12 tribes of Israel. Explaining where they be at, what their culture is, what the traditions would be, how they be blessed, what they have, what they produce, what they build. You understand? Just describing them, right? Verse 24, and of Asher, he said, let Asher be blessed with children. Let him be acceptable to his brethren. And here's the point right here. And let him dip his foot in oil. What does that mean? Let him dip his foot in oil. Will you examine South America, especially Colombia And Venezuela, this land has the largest output of oil resources, man. They have the largest oil reserve in the world, Venezuela and Colombia. That's how you know that the tribe of Asher is the South Americans, because the scripture says, let him dip his foot in oil. That means they have plenty of oil. They will have the majority of the oil in the world. Verse 25, thy shoe shall be iron and brass, and as thy days shall thy strength be. Even these lands, South America, they have a lot of mineral resources: iron, brass, nickel, tin, and copper. This how we could determine that the tribe of Asher is the South Americans, the Venezuelans, the Brazilians, the Colombians, by prophecy in these scriptures, man. All right. So that's how you come to find out that the South Americans, Venezuela, is from the tribe of Asher, by their blessing of many oil, by their blessings of fat produce, much produce, by their blessing of natural resources, minerals. You understand? Now, if you got eyes to see, you got ears to hear, you'll come to find out that the United States, the oppressor of the whole world, the destroyer of the whole earth, Satan himself, the beast, is raging war on Venezuela, man. All right, let's get a background what's going on. Come on, let's get it. U.S. Venezuela conflict as of December 2025. Tensions between United States and Venezuela have escalated sharply under President Trump's second term, reaching one of the most volatile points in decades. Historical roots date to Hugo Chavez's presidency, 1999 to 2013, with accusations of U.S. involvement in the 2002 coup attempt, followed by Nicolas Maduro's disputed elections 18 and 2024. The U.S. recognized opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as the legitimate winner of 2024 vote and does not recognize Maduro's third term starting January 2025. So I'm led to believe that this Gonzalez cat was going to be one of United States' puppet. You know what I'm saying? But the people love Maduro because he's for the people. He's for Venezuela first. You understand? Like he should be. All right. This is current flashpoints include drug trafficking accusations. The U.S. designates Venezuela gangs Tren de Aragua and the Cartel de los Soles, allegedly led by Maduro. When you do your research on this quote unquote gang, there's no existence of them. This is made up by America's propaganda, by America's media, by America's false narrative. There's no such thing as Cartel de los Soles that's allegedly led by Maduro. You know what I'm saying? Call up a Venezuelan right now. They'll tell you there's no such thing as Cartel de los Soles. That's how you know America, U.S., Esau, the so-called white man, the red man, is the damn devil that the Bible speaks of, right? I'm gonna jump down. Oil and sanctions renewed. Maximum pressure with seizures of oil tankers, a naval blockade of sanctioned vessels, and new sanctions on Maduro's family and shipping companies to choke Venezuela's oil revenue. Military buildup. U.S. deployment of the USS-4 carrier group 15,000 troops and fighter jets in the region, prompting Venezuelan militia mobilization and fears of invasion or regime change. Lock it. Maduro accuses the U.S. of aggression for oil reserves. Trump frames it as countering narco terrorism. Regional leaders urge diplomacy and amid risk of border conflict. There are videos with Trump speaking. Trump himself is talking about stealing the oil. Talking about the oil was originally America's. All right, let's get into some more. Let's get some direct quotes from the past Venezuela leaders like Chavez and Maduro. All right. Hugo Chavez, accusations and statements about the United States. Hugo Chavez frequently criticized U.S. foreign policy, describing it as imperialist, hegemonic, and aggressive. He accused the U.S. of involvement in the 02 coup attempt against him and made strong rhetorical attacks, especially against George Bush. Check this out. From his 2006 UN General Assembly speech, this is what he said. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, from this rostrum, the President of the United States, the gentleman to whom I refer as the devil, came here talking as if he owned the world, truly as the owner of the world. He also said the devil came here yesterday. The devil came here, right here, and it smells of sulfur still today. I hereby accuse the North American Empire of being the biggest menace to our planet. The government of the United States doesn't want peace. It wants to exploit its system of exploitation, of pillage, of hegemony through war. And our brother Chavez is not lying. When you look at the history, what country, what land, what continent has not the United States has not extort, has not caused violence, have not did intervention? Just look it up. There's a whole list, pages of different cities and states and countries that the United States did military intervention, forced democracy, caused genocides, slaughtered the women and children, caused mayhem. They bomb countries, man. They desolate lands, man, and build up white supremacy, man. For example, look at what they're doing right now in Palestine, Israel right now. Look what they're doing in Africa. Look what they're doing in Syria. Look what they try to do in Vietnam. The list goes on and on. That's what he also said. Most governments in the United States in 100 years have not respected the peoples of Latin America. They have sponsored coup d'etats, assassinations. Let's get some direct quotes from Maduro, the current president of Venezuela. Right? Here's one of his direct quotes. We tell the people of the United States our truth. And it is very clear imperialism in the Nazi fascist right wing wants to colonize Venezuela to take our wealth, oil, gas, gold, iron, aluminum, and other minerals. Not blood for oil, not war for oil. You see that? The tribe of Asher, Venezuela, was blessed with these things. We just read it. We just read the blessings that the Most High gave to the tribe of Asher, the Venezuelans, the South Americans. And this damn devil, this beast, United States of America, wants to take it from them by violence, by deceit, by war, by bloodshed. Reading on, accusing the U.S. of raging in a perilous world war against Venezuela through sanctions and aggression. I'm going to read this last paragraph. Both leaders portray the U.S. as an imperial power seeking domination, with Chavez emphasizing ideological and historical critiques, and Maduro highlighting economic warfare via sanctions and recent military pressures. You see that this is Jacob's trouble. This is tribe of Asher's trouble. All right, let's get some videos. Right? So this is the president of president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, right? I'm gonna read this and we're gonna watch the video. Today, U.S. government said Venezuelan oil belongs to them. Venezuelan minerals, gold and oil minerals, belong to them. It is simply a colonist claim. A regime change is intended to impose a puppet government and turn Venezuela into a colony. So, as you know, our brother is going to speak some type of Spanish, or it might be Portuguese or Spanish, right? Because why? Because we were subjugated. We was enslaved. We was forced to speak Portuguese and Spanish. We spoke Hebrew, man. You understand? But that's a whole another topic, different time. Let's get into this video.
Hoy hablé con el secretario general de Naciones Unidas. Hablamos un rato largo y les puse plenamente lo que ha sido la escalada de agresiones y de amenazas. Y lo que ha sucedido el día de ayer y hoy cuando el gobierno de los Estados Unidos...
If you just listening with the headphones right now, I'm playing this video and it has the subtitles in English. All right.
Dice que le pertenecen a ellos y que los venezolanos le robamos el petróleo. O sea, que el petróleo venezolano le pertenece a ellos. Que los minerales venezolanos, el oro y todos los minerales le pertenecen a ellos. Y lo que nunca habíamos escuchado, que las tierras de Venezuela le pertenecen a ellos y se lo tenemos que devolver de manera inmediata. Sencillamente, es una pretensión guerrerista y colonialista. Y lo hemos dicho bastante y ya todo el mundo ve la verdad. La verdad ha sido develada. Se pretende en Venezuela un cambio de régimen para imponer un gobierno títere que no duraría ni 47 horas, que llegue a entregarle la Constitución, la soberanía y todas las riquezas y convierta a Venezuela en una colonia. Sencillamente eso no va a pasar. Nunca, jamás. Never, never in the life. Venezuela será colonia de nada, de nadie, jamás.
Okay, let's move on. Let's listen to our leaders explain the acts of this damn demon, this beast. Right? All right, so I'm gonna read the caption first. Venezuela's Hugo Chavez in 2009 on the possibility of war with the United States. Here in Venezuela, he said, we have oil for more than 100 years. Again, they're showing y'all that the tribe of Asher are the Venezuelans. The United States is running out of oil. The most important reason why the United States wants to put a government here that is subordinate to it, to the empire, as they have for a long time, is Venezuelan oil. All right, it's more subtitles. All right, here we go.
Una guerra está ahí, entonces.
Pero tú no ves la amenaza que es para nosotros, el imperio de los Estados Unidos.
¿Por qué cree que Estados Unidos quiere atacar Venezuela?
Bueno, ahí está la historia reciente. Yo te voy a decir la causa más importante. Aquí mismo, está la reserva de petróleo más grande de este planeta. Aquí en Venezuela tenemos petróleo para más de 100 años. A Estados Unidos se le está acabando el petróleo. La razón de mayor peso de que Estados Unidos quiera poner aquí un gobierno subordinado a él, al imperio, como lo tuvieron durante mucho tiempo, es el petróleo venezolano.
Quiero hacerle una pregunta sin que a usted le moleste. ¿Está usted paranoico con Estados Unidos?
No, de ninguna manera. Yo solo soy realista. Si tú le pudieras hacer esa pregunta que me has hecho a mí, lo que pasa es que no podrás porque la mayoría están muertos. Hazle esa pregunta a Jacobo Arbenz, que era presidente de Guatemala cuando yo estaba naciendo, tú no habías nacido. Solo porque quiso hacer una reforma agraria. Lo invadieron Estados Unidos y lo derrocaron. Tú pudieras hacerle esa pregunta a João Goulart, el brasileño. Lo derrocaron Estados Unidos. Tú pudieras hacerle esa pregunta a Salvador Allende, el presidente mártir. Tú pudieras hacerle esa pregunta a Juan Bosch, el expresidente dominicano derrocado por la invasión de los Estados Unidos. Tú pudieras hacerle esa pregunta a mi general Omar Torrijos, asesinado por la CIA. Y ya, muchos más. ¿No es paranoica? ¿Es la verdad? Yo estoy cumpliendo una responsabilidad de jefe de Estado. Los paranoicos son otros, los de la extrema derecha, los enloquecidos que creen que el mundo no va a cambiar, las burguesías de este continente, pitiyanquis que pretenden a rajatabla seguir dominando a estos pueblos y no van a poder lograrlo. Solo después del 11 de septiembre, Estados Unidos empezó a hacer la lista de terroristas. Bueno, y a mí me tienen también en esa lista. Estados Unidos, el gobierno de Estados Unidos, lanzó una bomba atómica sobre Hiroshima, una bomba atómica, y otra sobre Nagasaki. Eso es terrorismo.
You see that? Our brother was bringing it out. He's just bringing it out how the United States, by Satan's will, they justified land theft, war, forced removals, assassinations, and violence, man. You can't make this up. We are in Jacob's trouble. We are in Asher's trouble, man. You understand? Let's get into this. Here we go. Representative MTG. Venezuela opposition backs Israel, abortion, and LGBTQ rights. That's what this is really about. Here we go. MTG questioned the U.S. narrative on Venezuela in a post that challenges both the mainstream framing of the crisis and the motives behind American involvement. Without defending Maduro, she drew a stark contrast between his government and opposition leader Maria Machado, especially on issues like Israel, abortion, and LGBTQ policy. But MTG's border point was clear. She believes the real agenda isn't drugs or democracy, it's something else entirely. And she says the American people are waking up to it. Here are some interesting facts about Venezuela that are easily searchable. Venezuela is a predominantly Catholic country with very strong laws against abortion, with the exception being the life of the mother. Maduro had been critical of Israel, calling it a genocide in Gaza and against Zionism. So these are a few more reasons why the United States want to go into Venezuela, conquer the people, conquer the land, conquer our resources, unalive our leaders, because we speak up against them. We going against them as we should. Esau versus Jacob. Jacob versus Esau. Read it on. Maduro's opposition, Maria Machado, is a strong supporter of Israel and wants to restore strong relations with Israel. So they want to set up Maria Machado and get rid of our brother Maduro, because Machado is for the small hats, the Israelis, the 1948ers. Reading on, she is more left-leaning on unaliven babies, abortion, LGBTQ issues, man. This is madness. Check this out. Most Americans I talk to are not buying that this is really about drugs and sanctioned oil takers. And it's not about social issues. I just added that to highlight some differences in the two leaders. Oh man, this is crazy. This what Taylor Greene said, right? This what Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said. One of your own people, one of your own Edomites, talking the truth about what's the real reason behind this, right? Let's get into some more. Man. Let's see what our leaders have to say. Right? Rest in peace, Chavez, man. Rest in paradise, man. Lord willing, we see you in the kingdom. You know what I mean? Because you stood up for your people. You ain't like none of these black bourgeois, whatever, boulets, right? That sold they sold for money, right? All right, I'm gonna read this. Read the caption first. Hugo Chavez. They are cowards. They bomb innocent people, right? People in Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Yemen, Libya, Syria, Iraq, Japan. They even bombed us in our during the time of our Black Wall Streets when we was prospering, when they was in a Great Depression and we was rising, we was getting wealthy between ourselves. We was segregated and we was prospering, and they would envied us. And what they do? They bombed us. Reading on. How cowardly is the army of Israel to attack an innocent, sleeping, resting people, and they claim to be defending their people. Meanwhile, CIA asset Maria Machado pledged to move Venezuela's embassy in Israel to occupy Jerusalem if she installed in Miraflores as the leader of Venezuela by U.S. and Israel. Now you can see why the U.S. and Israel have wanted to see the Bolivarian Revolution destroyed. Let's see what our brother had to say.
Oye, ¿cuánto estarán sufriendo los niños palestinos en este instante? ¿Y si fuera tu hijo? ¿Tienes hijos? Todavía no. ¿Tú tienes hijos y nietos? Y yo también. ¿Y si fueran los tuyos? Bajo bombas, de noche, de día, ¿dónde se meten los niños? Los inocentes, mujeres con niños chiquitos, ancianos. Son unos cobardes. Además, cobardes, bombardean pueblos inocentes. Qué tremendos soldados son. Qué tremendos soldados son. Qué cobarde es el ejército de Israel. Atacar un pueblo rendido, dormido, inocente. Y se jactan de estar defendiendo a su pueblo. Oye, ¿cuánto estarán sufriendo?
Ain't nothing new under the earth. Even in the time of Chavez, the Israelis was bombing innocent Palestinians. And what our brother did, he stood up for what was right. He spoke against evil. Let's get more. What our brother's speaking against this evil empire, this damn red beast, right? Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro says this: 85% of the billions from international drug trafficking each year is in the banks in the United States. If they want to investigate a cartel, let them investigate the cartel up north. Marco Rubio's brother-in-law, Orlando Cecilia, was convicted for his role in cocaine trafficking ring in Florida. Y'all know who Marco Rubio is, right? He's the Secretary of the United States, the White House. Hold on, wait. Let's look him up real quick. Let me get his title right. His nickname is Narco. So Marco Rubio, right, is the United States Secretary of State. The U.S. Secretary of State brother-in-law was convicted for cocaine trafficking ring. Come on now. But in 2002, Rubio wrote a letter on official stationery recommending Cecilia for a real estate license at a time when Cecilia was already a convicted felon. And the letter did not disclose their familiar relationship. Let's see what our brother had to say.
El 85% de los miles de millones del narcotráfico internacional anual están en los bancos de Estados Unidos. Ahí está el cartel, que lo investiguen y lo descubran. El lavado de dinero. Mira, yo estaba viendo los datos que dio la vicepresidenta y creo que son más de 500 mil millones de dólares anuales que están en la banca de Estados Unidos, en los bancos legales. Si ellos quisieran investigar un cartel, que investiguen el cartel en el norte, porque allá es que desde Estados Unidos que se dirige todo el narcotráfico de Sudamérica y del mundo, porque también dirigen el narcotráfico del opio, etcétera, etcétera. Es en los Estados Unidos que están las mafias, que están los verdaderos carteles. El 85%.
He said the real cartels is the United States, basically. All right, let's get more. That's from my man Jackson Hickle, another Edomite. Your own people speaking against you. The Venezuela war is Wall Street's war against de-dollarization. Venezuela controls the world's largest oil reserve, just like the Most High blessed us with in the Torah, in the book of Genesis, Salaki, in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, but lacks production capabilities. 85% of Venezuela's oil exports are in non-dollar currencies. 80% of Venezuela's oil exports are priced in petroleum. BRICS partners now control 50% of global oil output and reserves. Venezuela, not a BRICS member, but also now Venezuela is allies with Russia and China and North Korea, but they're not part of BRICS as of yet. Venezuela will increase BRICS oil reserve control to 67%. The U.S. needs Venezuela's oil flowing in dollars, or the empire's debt pyramid will collapse. You see that? Many more reasons why the United States, this red beast, this damn demon, wants to take over our brother's country and resources. Right? It's one of the last reasons why, and I commend y'all. I encourage y'all to to dive deeper into this, man. Right, breaking. Israeli publication Israel Hayom says it was Israel that pushed Trump to bring about regime change in Venezuela. So you got the damn Amalekites right? Forcing Esau to oppress us. This is madness, man. You see how the red man, their tribes come together in unity to destroy us, but we won't come together to build ourselves up and destroy their kingdom so our kingdom could come. Another lesson, another time. Here we go. Since this is from Israel, Jewish world. Since Hugo Chavez rise to power, Venezuela has become one of the most hostile countries to Israel and Zionism in Latin America. I'm going to jump down to the highlights. His successor continued the anti-Israeli line with even more intensity. Thus, Venezuela, which previously maintained warm relations with Israel and even purchased security technologies from it, became a center of hostile propaganda towards Zionism and the Jewish state. All right, so this is an excerpt from something. I'm gonna just read it. Will you restore diplomatic relations with Israel and establish Venezuela's embassy location in Jerusalem, as President Donald Trump did? I don't know who this question is for. I think this is a question that they had asked. This might be a question that was asked to Maria Machado. Here we go. So she says, certainly Venezuela will be Israel's closest ally in Latin America. We will rely on Israel's support in dismantling Maduro's crime regime and the transition to democracy. Together we'll lead a global struggle against crime and terror. The Venezuelan people deeply admire Israel and will always defend its right to live in peace without threat to its existence. Sheesh. But the only threat in the world is the damn Israelis and obviously the United States. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. He also, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap up to all people. So United States, man, they don't stay at home. They have military naval bases throughout the world. They see what they want, they're gonna take it, man, by violence. They're gonna take it by deception, by false narratives, by lies, by deceit, by influencing the world to thinking you are a terrorist, a drug trafficker, an anti-Semite. You understand? They proud. They have this sense of manifest destiny, man. And when they get to your country, they're gonna cause hell and bring death. It's the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in history. You can't deny this, man. They sanction you. They put pressure on your economy, force democracy. And democracy is not but liberalism, which is do what thy will. Do all evil you want to do. Just don't get caught. You understand? Verse 8. Because you has spoiled many nations. That word spoil is destroyed, rob, take, unalive. Reading on, all the remnant of the people shall spoil you because of men's blood and for the violence of the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. And that's all they do, man. They plunder countries, take their money, take over their money system, take over their produce and oil and agriculture and cattle. It's the book of Obadiah, 4 verse 5. Bear with me, let me get it right. Though you exalt thyself as the eagle. Wait, what's the symbol of America? The eagle. As thou set thy nest among the stars. Who claims to do space travel? Who has the Space Force? Salakia. Damn, I'm messing up, man. Hold on. Bear with me. Salakia, man. Set thy nest among the stars. Who doing space travel? Who has NASA? Who has Space Force, SpaceX? Read it on. Thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. If these can burst by night, how art thou cut off? Will they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? You see that? Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white man in America, man. They are the biggest thieves on the earth, man. They are the biggest thieves on the earth, man. They want to extort you, rob you of all your wealth, take over your merchants, take over your trade routes, de-dollarization you, man. Take over your government. That's what the devil do. That's what the devil is. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity. That's what it's all about. That's what they do. They devise iniquity. Devise ways to steal, to unalive, to conquer, to take control of, to dominate, to rule, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. They got this power from Satan. Verse 2, and they covet fields. They covet Venezuela. They want the oil resources. They want the minerals. And take them by violence. They bombing them. Bombing the oil tankers. Bombing innocent bystanders. And houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house and even a man in his heritage. That's all this so-called white man wants to do, man. Military intervention, man. Oppression, man. Economic siege tactics. You understand? They want to collapse our currency, man. They think they God. God giveth and God taketh, and that's how they feel. They could just take it. But guess what? There is a God, man. And he will save us, man. He will save us, man. Let's get these last scriptures. That's the book of Psalms 140. Starting from the top. This is what we need to pray. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. They are sharpening their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. You know who the wicked is when you read Malachi 1. Edom, Esau, the border of wickedness. The violent man, what race, what nation has caused more violence than the so-called white man? Verse 5, the proud have hid a snare for me. Black power. What they say? White power. Slock. White power. White supremacy. America over everything. Right? That's what they say, right? They have the biggest military, the biggest banks, the most influence in the world. They are proud. Reading on, the proud have hid a snare for me in cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me, Salah. I said unto Yahweh, thou art my power. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Yahweh. O power, the Lord, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. As for the head of those who compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them, let them be cast into fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. Let not an evil speaker be established in the earth, even shall hurt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that the Yahweh will maintain the cause of the afflicted, and the right of the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto your name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence. So we want the Most High to judge, bring destruction, exterminate, fight for us against the exploitations, the robbery, the violence, the oppression of the poor, the unaliving of the woman and children, the lawlessness, the stealing of our resources that the Most High God blessed us with, man. We in a time where we need to unite. We need to gather ourselves together, man. We need to be praying more for the destruction of our enemies, not the salvation of them. Right? We need to repent, return to the Lord, keep his commandments, and love our brethren as we love ourselves, man. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, death to America. Kwame Yasharala.